Okay, so picture this. You get a contract and you see a big, juicy percentage offered to you. It feels amazing, right? But what if I told you that one single word, just 4 letters long, could turn that incredible deal into an absolute financial nightmare? Well, let's break down how this tiny word can change absolutely everything. So first up, we've got to talk about what I call the percentage trap. This is that moment you see a number like, 20%, 30%, or maybe even 50% in a contract. And it looks great, it looks powerful, but that number, it's often just there to distract you from what actually matters.
So let me ask you this directly. Which of these deals are you taking? A massive 50% of the profits, or what looks like a much smaller 15% of the revenue? Now, your gut is probably screaming to grab that bigger number, but believe me, that could be a huge mistake.
And here's the thing. The number itself, that percentage, is almost meaningless without context. The real power, the real money, is in the word that comes right after it. That one word defines what you're actually getting a piece of.
And that leads us right to the two most important words you will ever see in a creative contract: gross and net. Seriously, understanding the huge difference between these two is the absolute key to protecting your income.
Let's start with gross. You're going to love gross. It's beautifully simple. It's the total amount of money a project brings in, period. Before anything is taken out, it's the whole pie. If a project makes $100,000, the gross is $100,000. Simple, clean, nowhere to hide. And now for its tricky cousin, net. Net income. Well, that's what's left of the pie after the company has taken all of its slices. And they can take slices for just about everything. Expenses, fees, overhead, you name it. This is where your money can literally just vanish into thin air.
And when you put them side by side like this, man, the power dynamic becomes so clear. Gross is transparent. It's simple. It's almost always better for you, the creator. It's based on real money. Net, on the other hand, is complex, it's confusing, and it almost always favors the company because it's based on a profit number that they get to calculate.
Okay, enough of the theory. Let's see what this looks like with actual money on the line. This is where you can have that aha moment and really see how a net deal can just decimate your payout. Let's run the numbers. So both deals start with the exact same $100,000 in revenue. On the left, with a 20% gross deal, the math is easy. 20% of $100,000 is $20,000. Simple. But now look at the right, the net deal. Before you see a single penny, they deduct $50,000 in expenses. So now your 20% is based on the remaining $50,000. And bam, your payout is just $10,000. You've lost half your money on the exact same project. Wow, yeah. Seeing it like this as a bar chart really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Same project, same revenue, same percentage number in the contract, but that one word, net, cuts your actual take-home pay in half. It's brutal. But it can actually get worse. A 50% pay cut is bad, but what if your pay could be reduced all the way to zero? Well, welcome to a practice so common it has its own sneaky name, Hollywood accounting. And this is where it gets crazy, because the list of things they can deduct can feel endless. Marketing costs, travel, legal fees, even their own staff salaries and office rent. And then you get these vague things like label overhead or administrative fees. It just goes on and on. And if you think that sounds like an exaggeration, get this. This is the insane reality of how this works. We're talking about massive blockbuster movies that make billions of dollars, but on paper, they're reported as having made zero profit. And why would they do that? So that all the people who are owed a percentage of the net get nothing. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? That's the nightmare scenario. After all the creative accounting and all those endless deductions, your share of the net income can legally become zero. You can be part of a massive, culture-defining hit and walk away with absolutely nothing. Okay, I know that was all a bit doom and gloom, but knowledge is power, right? Now that you understand the trap, let's talk about how to fight back. Let's build your playbook so you can protect yourself when you're negotiating. This right here, this is your #1 goal, your North Star in any negotiation. You always push for a percentage of gross income. It's the cleanest, it's the fairest, and it's the most transparent way to ensure you actually get paid for your work. Do not let them talk you out of this. Okay, but let's be real. In the real world, especially when you're dealing with huge companies, getting a pure gross deal can be tough. They're going to push back, hard. So what do you do when they just say no? You don't just give up. This is when you pivot to damage control. This slide, this is your checklist.
You fight to put a cap on the total deductions. You make them define, in writing, exactly what counts as an expense. You fight to exclude those vague overhead fees. You demand the right to see itemized statements. And you try to negotiate a minimum guaranteed payment. These steps can make a bad deal a whole lot safer.
So here we are, full circle. After looking at all the numbers and the tricks, it really does all come back to the incredible power of just one single word in your contract.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't about getting a little extra pocket money. This is the difference between building a sustainable career where you're rewarded for your success and working on projects that make other people rich while you get left with nothing.
And that's really the most important takeaway here. This isn't just some boring legal detail. Understanding gross versus net is a genuine, profitable skill. It might just be the most valuable piece of business knowledge any creative person can have.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time a contract lands on your desk and your eyes jump to that big, exciting percentage, you'll know better. You'll know to look right past it, because now you know the real fight is over that one little word that comes after it. You know the trap now, so how are you going to avoid it?